Hey everyone, welcome. It's Kenlyn for this week's transmission of the energies in astrology and the cosmos, May 19th. And I'm going to call this astrological Holy Week. This is Holy Week, you guys, because we have such benefic energy that is bringing together everything we have done up to now, blessing us and creating a new way forward. That's in a nutshell. So let's break it down. As I'm recording this, this is the last day of Taurus. We have 5 planets in Taurus. So you know, when I say last day, when we take whole house astrology, every sign has 30 degrees. The last day means that they're at the edge 29 degrees before they move into a new sign at 0 degrees. These are super important points in an astrological chart. 29-degree completion, 0 degrees, the spark of the new. So this threshold crossing, let's call it that, signifies for us, and I'm going to use what Molly McCord said, a graduation. It's like job well done. I very much resonate with that because it's been insanely intense. And I don't even mean last week or last month. I mean, since 2020. This is really the graduation of what got initiated to change in a Phoenix style death and rebirth since 2020. I mean, I'm just going to invite you to look back. 4 years later, who are you now? I am not the same person at all. Are you the same person? Chances are absolutely not. Even if you don't even believe, which you do because you're here, but like maybe you don't even track anything in consciousness, right? Those people are different because life has shifted and molded and rearranged the psyche of everyone. So when we're on the conscious path, and this is conscious astrology, we get to take this on intentionally and get behind it. And when we get behind it, we get that energy. So the energies this week, check it out. We've got Taurus. We've got Gemini now in the picture. We didn't have that speedy air sign in the picture. We came from Aries, that initiation. We were in Taurus. Now we have that speedy air sign that we're moving into. So we also have a full moon, and this full moon is in Sagittarius on the 23rd of May. That's going to basically be your graduation ceremony and deliver you, here's the thing, into a new identity, a new way of being, because Sagittarius rules the truth. It rules belief systems. It rules knowledge. It's your inner guru. Its planet is Jupiter. Jupiter is the teacher, not only the benefic that brings and expands your abundance, but also the teacher, the guru, wisdom. So we get to curate, what is it that you've learned? Who are you now? What beliefs are you throwing out? And really, don't take this lightly. Do an inventory of the beliefs that you've had about life, about yourself, about your self-worth, and really see where you are now. Like use a scale of on a scale of 1 to 10. How did you value yourself? How much did you feel worthy of blessings? What was your level of receiving? Go look at your credit card statements. What did I value back then versus like, what are you valuing now? Money is always, seeing how we spend money is always a way to show us what we value. And okay, so now let's talk about today. As I'm recording this, Jupiter and the sun are in a conjunction. The Cazimi, the Jupiter's in the heart of the sun. And that sun is in Taurus, the last day, like shining. I mean, what a beautiful gift to have this Cazimi on this day, that it's shining. You are shining. Just know that you are. No matter what your circumstances are, your light is there and it's being lit up. I know people are going through some really intense times, and this is why it's so important to have a context around your graduation. Because it's not done. We also have Venus in the mix. Venus, Jupiter, the sun. Venus is conjunct Uranus. So everybody's in Taurus at the last degree, just receiving the benefits, the beauty of Taurus. You know how much Venus loves Taurus. She's really tried to share with you, to tell you, to get your attention in every single way, that it's about beauty, the capital B, beauty. It's about beauty. It's about love. It's about relationships. It's about the divine feminine. It's about receiving. Those are the messages that she's amplifying with Jupiter, helping her, coming in and saying, I'm going to amplify your message. Uranus saying, I'm going to shatter the old ways of loving, and I'm going to bring in something new for your love, for your personal love, for your relationships. Some relationships have taken major hits this year. People have gotten really clear about who they are and who they are not. And that clarity is kindness, because it supports each person to go forward in a way that serves them. We are breaking up with sacred contracts and even non-sacred contracts, like familial contracts, societal contracts. That's part of what Uranus wants to break up. Society is based on, let's stay married even when it doesn't serve us anymore. And I don't say that lightly, because I understand the cost of all of that. But there's a deeper cost to your soul. So we are opting on the side of growth over stability. Sometimes we have to do that. And then we get to a new plateau with our growth, and we can handle more stability. But what we're learning is that it comes from inside, because relationships come and go. People are not put on the planet in service to you. They're just not. You are in service to you. You are not put on the planet in service to someone else. In service to the collective, yes. And maybe someone else for this moment. But as your soul purpose, no. You're here to serve the divine as they're appearing, as it's appearing now, as this, as this, as this. And things change. We live in impermanence. Gene Key 8, that's the transmission for today. I'll do that on a separate video. But that exquisiteness understands deeply that it's impermanent, because who and what you really are is ineffable. Take that in for the journey, because there's so much change, and we're going into even more change as we get into Gemini season. So we really have to understand our exquisiteness in this moment. And that comes in the stillness. Know the stillness inside, because if you don't know the stillness inside, that Gemini movement and all these planets into Gemini is just going to be like a tornado in your mind. And so we don't have to be smacked around by a tornado. We can use the energy. You know, that's what the air is creative. Air is fun. It's dynamic. It's got a lot of movement, but it doesn't have to move the center. The center is still point. And this is what the Taurus mansion has hopefully brought to you. Know what it is in your lane. So let's get back to this week. This week, as Molly McCord says, I love this, the dream team is here. The dream makers are here. So the dream makers are here for you. And I left out one piece that I want to bring in. So we know that Venus is conjuncting Uranus. We know the sun is conjuncting Jupiter. We know that Venus, Jupiter, and Venus, Jupiter is going to come into a conjunction, or a sextile, not a conjunction, a sextile with Neptune. Neptune. Who's Neptune? Universal love, the higher octave, spirit. So we have this moment of bringing in mysticism, bringing in the divine. So Venus makes it personal. Neptune opens it up to God, goddess. I love that. We get both, and Jupiter expands all of that energy. Look at my notes for a minute. Yeah, so the Venus-Jupiter conjunction at 29 degrees. Love, success, luck, love of earth, happiness. I mean, like, here we are. We're getting the gold. This is graduation. You know how you get a lot of gifts at graduation and everyone's acknowledging you? Great job. They didn't know all the moments that it took you to get there, that you had dark nights of the soul, that you stayed up all night, that you had to wrestle yourself to the ground to keep staying the course. This is the moment. This week is the moment that you get the reward, that you get the acknowledgement of the path that you've been on. And you know what? Do that yourself. You don't need any external acknowledgement. This transmission is for you to get in action with yourself as a part of your full moon ritual. Acknowledge yourself. Full moons, we always express the gratitude that got us where we are. And then we release and let go of identities so that we can, by the new moon, step into something new. So Mars in Aries conjunct the North Node is this moment saying, choose wisely. Where will you put your action, your energy, your movement, your embodiment for the future, for where you're going? What's your dharma? What's your destiny? And I think we get to ask that question anew, because what it was is maybe not what it is right now, or maybe there's deeper refinement. So Venus and Jupiter conjunction, making a sextile to Neptune, 29 degrees. So look at all the planets, 29 degrees, ending their time together. Oh yeah, and then we have the sun in there. The sun's moving out today. And into Gemini tomorrow as I'm recording this. So also there's a destiny point, there's a finger of God, and I love that. The finger of God is pointing toward the new. It's pointing toward a new dimension of life. I think that's also a Uranian influence, breaking down and shattering the old. So a new direction. And it can be something that you have been working on, but you haven't received the fruition of it. You've just been doing your due diligence. It can be like a new home. You've been packing up and you've even moved, and now you're putting your things away in your new home. Put it away from the place of not the old. This is new. Who are we now? Who is my family now? Who am I now? What do we want to orient ourselves? Like even the feng shui of your home can call in. Like what is the family's dharma together? Is it to create joy? Is it to be an example? Is it to have fun? Is it to be the most loving? What is it? That's your new third eye gaze, drishti. Oh yeah, let's also presence that Mars is conjuncting the solar eclipse at the degree point of 19 degrees Aries. So whatever got activated in the solar eclipse is again coming back up. And to me, what's happening is new layers of that clarity. Many people got clarity at the solar eclipse. Like before that, lots of confusion, and that's fine. Confusion's great. We have to sit in the confusion until it reveals itself. In the solar eclipse, we got the reboot. Now Mars is 19 degrees Aries, conjunct the North Node, and revisiting that place of the solar eclipse. So it's a total new beginning and another iteration of the clarity that you received. And you've been on the path, working the path. So again, the astrology is all moving us forward. Oh, I also want to say that this is the constellation of joy. So have some fun with this week. See where you can channel joy, bliss in the most unexpected places or times. The other day I was in a workout and they have stations. And I was on one of the stations, and out of nowhere, I started to experience just this bliss. And I was singing the song that was playing on the playlist. It was a pretty epic playlist. And I was like, wow, this guy's, whoever put this together is a great playlist. And that like acknowledgement somehow, with probably the endorphins from working out, whatever, I don't know. It was this moment. And I experienced this bliss, and I came into tears, and I was just singing. And I noticed that like at the gym, nobody else sings the songs. And nobody ever says anything, while they're working out. And so part of my transmission of Gene Key 8 is that's just true for me to sing the song. And, the sound in the gym is really loud. So it's not like I'm taking the mic or anything, but I'm just being fully who I am in that joy. And I got in the car, and I was just savoring, like stop and savor that moment of joy. Because pretty soon I'll go back and I'll check my emails and, whatever, get back under the clouds. But for that moment, I was there. I just saw how, and I mean, I think I uttered in the car on the way home, like, oh my God, life is just perfect. That it did not come from my mind. My mind would not say that. My mind lives in duality. It can think of all the things that are wrong with life. But in that moment, I had transcended duality, and life was perfect. And that you're going to have a lot of experiences if you open yourself to it. Lots of experiences like this. This is what's coming through, because this is what is, it's guiding us forward. We cannot be guided forward from the mind. We're guided forward from the love, from the joy. So Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is moving into Gemini. As I said, we've got Venus moving into Gemini, Jupiter moving into Gemini, and the sun moving into Gemini, all happening this week. So we are changing our conversation. The Taurus conversation was about value and really getting a healing. I mean, Chiron is implicated through this whole thing. And Chiron is a big theme from the solar eclipse. So we've been getting our healing around our self-worth and our value. And now we're coming into the sign of duality, the sign that invented this and that. So there's a choice point in Gemini, and we're going to be faced. I think faced is a better word than forced. Faced with making choices. We're going to be given the beauty, the beneficence of creating choice. I want to claim it that way, because it's not a burden. Choice is part of what we get to do here. So with the movement into Gemini, we're talking about speed. We're talking about air, quickness, more social media opportunities, even probably more social media platforms coming through. So that Gemini mind, unchecked, is overwhelmed and scattered. It was the abundant creatrices in my, I used to have a quiz that I'll bring back at some point, but that idea factory that has all these options. Gemini is like that. So remember the Taurian mansion of who you are and what you're carrying forward. And your superpower is choosing where to put your precious attention going forward. Because Mars will remind us that where we put our attention is where our life will be built. So we ask ourselves, Sagittarius likes to look to the future. What do we want to create for ourselves? One of my soul sisters today in the sisterhood activation said, I want to create community. One woman said, I'm so grateful for community because when I got sick or hurt, injured, I needed community. So what is it that you know that you want to be a part of? And reverse engineer and make the choices that are step-by-step choices so that one day all those little choices make up the life that you're living. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video.